As you may know, I also attended the forum on Saturday. There was 100 members there. It's a pity because I think Robin wanted to join as well, but he couldn't
Get in.
because the limit is 100. But Peter took some notes. You took, Peter, you circulated those notes, didn't you, in the end?
No, I didn't. I only did it to yourself,
Okay.
Three and Robin. For you
Right.
to deal with what you wanted, Dave.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if we can do a brief report together on this, on Saturday's meeting, because that £750 was the pertinent bit, because we thought you were going to have the opportunity to vote on it, but there was a last minute amendment put in. We don't know who by, but I think that was withdrawn, wasn't it? The following day, was it?
Mr. President, you do have a note, I think, but it was withdrawn.
Yeah.
And it's really a question of which of us in the club contact, I think it's Penny Croucher, and says, yes, we're in favour. I think you've got the email as well.
Yeah.
Mr. President, my apologies.
We discussed this last week.
One at a time. Jim.
Better late than never.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Yeah, Bob.
Yeah, we discussed this last week because I had the memo in front of me, and I said we either go online and vote, or somebody votes. And I think Peter said, well, he was going to attend the meeting and he would vote.
Yeah. The vote. Carry on, Peter.
No, what happened, Bob, is that there was an amendment put into the district regarding every club donating £300 from the 750 refund. The DG, Rory, considered that because of this amendment, this needed to go back to the clubs to be voted on to see if the amendment would be allowed.
Yeah.
So therefore, the vote on that proposal was postponed. But it appears from what Dave and Michael just said, the amendment was withdrawn, and now the clubs have been asked to vote on the original proposal.
That was my understanding.
Yeah.
So just to clear my mind then, because I put this email to Stanley the following day, Stan the man, and said you can use this email to, if you like, spearhead the other clubs, because if 40 clubs did it, you got your 15 grand. Now, the proposition was for the 750 to be returned to each club. Has that gone through?
No, that's the one we're asked to vote on now.
Right.
Yeah.
I say vote. I think it's a question of contacting Penny Croucher, saying that's what we want.
Right. So has somebody done that?
Well, that's what I was going to ask tonight, to see if anyone had actually done anything.
Well, who's got the email?
There's an email, and the actual contact details were on one of the earlier papers. It's Penny Croucher.
Well, all I can say is that I didn't receive the email. I was just told about this amendment being withdrawn. But I didn't know personally that now there was another vote on the original proposal. So I know.
No, because I thought the original proposal stood.
No, I don't think it did, see.
Well, then,
Mr. President,
with respect, Michael, can you contact Penny and find out and vote?
Well, I'll send her an email.
Yeah.
Just say we're in favour.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's the 750.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if we don't get the 750, then Stan's appeal for Yeovil won't get the 375.
Yeah. And that's what we wanted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter Harwell.
Yeah, as I understood it, there was the original proposal that each club should give half their money to Yeovil. That was withdrawn or taken out of context, and there was a proposal that milled around that from the total sum given by the district, 15,000 should go to Yeovil first, and the balance should be shared between the remaining number of clubs in the district. So instead of each getting 750, each club would get 450 and 15,000 would go to Yeovil. As I understood it, that got withdrawn on the basis of what I said earlier, that
Yeah.
every club should be allowed to decide how much they give. Now that's on the basis. Some of the local clubs may well give well over half, or may well give all of that 750. But I think you've simply got to vote that the 750 is coming to each club in the district, and we do as we choose with it.
Well, I received an email from Stan with the details, but I confirm that my instructions are, and which I hold, is when I receive 750, I then pay out 375. So I wait to see the receipt of.
Right. All right, Dave. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, Peter. Did you want to circulate the rest of your notes? Would that be the easiest? Because we had a number of speakers, didn't we? Sarah Follen. Yeah. Partnership with Carers UK, for example. She suggested we write to MPs, didn't she? For about the ambassador's role. Bob, you got a mention.
Oh.
50th. Yeah, 50 years in Rotary with Roger Greenslade and David Welch. And so it's 3 people got awards, which obviously, you're one of them, Bob.
Thank you.
I had to leave early. I mean, I don't know what happened after I left. It was just the presidency-elect, wasn't it, Peter? You had a
Yeah, it's just a
briefing.
it was just a very quick thing that a WhatsApp group for presidents-elect has been created. And president nominees, or as they put it, vice presidents can also join it, just to have a conversation about their plans for the future and help each other out, basically.
Mhm.
And that was Michael Fumino didn't have very long left of the meeting, so it was very brief, but it was
Yeah. David Perkins actually couldn't make it on Saturday. Stan Jones, deputised and gave an update on the foundation. Okay. Right, that's me done. Secretary, Michael.
Nothing else.
Nothing else? Right, thank you, Michael.
I will contact Penny.
Okay. Treasurer, Bob?
No, nothing to report, Mr. President.
Okay. Any other business, anybody else? Eric, then Peter.
President, I am a member on the primary care network. We had a meeting today, and obviously the main sort of problem facing them at the moment is the enormous deluge of vaccinations that are coming, either first dose or second dose or whatever, and it's causing a little bit of problem. And it would appear that they are somewhat deluged with administration there. I volunteered that I would help with Essex House, and I said I would mention it tonight. If any of you want to contact your own surgery, if you have time, and see if they need any help, I'm sure it would be appreciated. I think it's a question of coordinating lists and ticking off numbers and that sort of thing, but they're not dealing with it terribly well, because there is such a huge amount of paperwork in order to get all these vaccination appointments sorted out.
Thank you. Eric.
As I said, I had my invitation for the 2nd today, Eric.
Yeah, well, that's what's happening. I mean, they've
Yeah.
got, I can't remember, it's like 8,000 doses are arriving this week or whatever, and
Yeah.
without all the problems with storing them, because they're the Pfizer ones, it's causing a bit of problem. Anyway,
Yeah,
I will do Essex House, but if anybody in any of the other surgeries wants to, just contact the practice managers and see if they need any help. I'm sure it will be appreciated.
Well, I know Peter's got connections with Springmead, but I don't know what level of administrative help.
Well, I don't know. I mean, just ask. But
Just ask.
I
Okay.
put my oar in at Essex House, and they said, well, they'll let me know what I can do to help them by the end of the week, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I've got one question, Mr. President.
Yeah. Who's that?
I've been out for, we've been in our meal money to the club.
Yeah.
Are we carrying on that after March?
We had a.
Because I haven't heard of it, you see.
Can I,
Robin, you're muted.
we did briefly mention this, and President indicated that he would like to, because we aren't going to meet in the next 3 months.
No.
So I was going to mention it towards the end of the month.
That's all right.
If in fact you put your money into our bank before the 5th of April, in other words, you were
Yeah.
quick off the mark, then that will gain the refund on that amount a year earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, if you did it in the second week or after the 6th of April, the claim for that would not be until 12 months later.
Yeah. So you want my check before the end of March?
So, yeah, I mean, with your approval, Mr. President, if everybody's agreed, I'll send out another email tomorrow morning
Mhm.
with the bank details, etc. And I'll point that out. And then everybody, all the monies that I receive, and bear in mind it's quicker if you can do it online, but if not, checks pretty quickly, that I can bank them at the local shop. I will get that done before the 5th of April.
Thank you.
Of course, it's up to each individual member to
Yeah.
make their own decision on that.
It is voluntary, as I will point out again. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. Who else had their hand up?
Jim,
Could we not divert some of that
Jim.
money to the foundation, then, Mr. President?
I was going to suggest, did we talk earlier on, because I was late coming in, about the foundation deduction, the monthly deduction? Have you talked about that tonight?
Yes.
The person, Dave Perkins, who gave the presentation, did mention that, and he will be sending a form out to every member, Jim.
Right, because I was going to make a proposal that we should take this money out of the dinner money that we save, and not another imposition on the club. I mean, all the money from the charity account is coming from members at the moment, and whereas we all want to take our part, it is getting a bit expensive. There's a proposal that I would like to make, and have the club vote on that.
Still cheaper than going to the meetings, Jim.
Sorry?
I said it's still cheaper than attending our meetings.
Well, you still got to provide a meal, haven't you?
Well,
Well, I mean, you work it out, Bob.
yeah, I do.
60, that's £240 a year from each member. On top of that, of course, is the Rotary subs, which we're not getting any Rotary business other than what we do in here. So it's
But if you go to a meeting, you're spending at least 15 quid, at least.
yes, yeah.
And we're giving £10. So
Yeah.
we're £5 better off, which will certainly cover your meal at home, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's other things in life other than Rotary.
Absolutely.
I mean,
That's why it's voluntary.
Okay, yeah, fine. That's all right, as long as it's voluntary and that the members appreciate this,
I think picking up on
Some of us with limited means.
I think picking up on Jim's point regarding the cost to Rotarians, it's a big thing within Rotary now, and people are coming to realise that this is one of the things that is stopping people becoming members because of the cost. And sorry about that, Neil, but it is a lot of clubs now have actually don't meet the meals to cut out that cost of meals. So it is a very real problem.
Yeah.
And I appreciate Jim bringing that up, because it is a real problem. It's not something that can be just dismissed like that out of order.
No.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Well, of course, it's, as I say, it's for every member to decide what to do. But some of us feel obligated. If the rest of the club wants to do it, then the rest of the few odd ones feel obligated to do it, and we will go along with the flow. This is why I suggested a vote.
Yeah, I agree with Jim and Peter, that the majority of the funds which go to whatever charities is actually paid for by the members.
Yes, the maximum, all of it this year, isn't it?
Oh, I think that is this year has been exceptional circumstance that this has happened. It wouldn't normally be the case.
Yeah.
The majority of funds that go to charity come from Rotarians. The only problem with what Jim's proposing is that the regular giving to foundation is something that each individual member has to commit to, and is an ongoing commitment. It's not just a commitment for this year, it's an ongoing commitment.
Yes, yeah.
So you can't really take that out of funds that are only going to be there for, hopefully, the next 3 months will be the last 3 months that we make that donation.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so.
Well, if I can make a point, that the club makes its payment to foundation each year, and they ask you to, or they ask the club to do it before the middle of May, so that it goes into the year's accounts. And Jim has mentioned a proposition, Mr. President, and it might be a thought to put to you that this meal donation, if you so wish, could make a total or partial payment passed on to foundation in our annual payment. So let's supposing everybody does it, that comes in before the 5th of April. So then I will get gift aid back on that. However, I could then make a payment to foundation of the same amount, which would substantially up what we normally give. And we normally give, it's a president's choice. We might give 250, we might give £500. Usually Dick is the foundation member and raises money through 1 or 2 events or diaries, etc., and we top that up. But if that is, as I understand it, if that is a proposition from Jim, then we could certainly vote on that, and it might incentivize members to make that contribution, knowing that it will go to foundation if that's everybody's wish.
Sounds to me like a good idea, Bob.
Yes, I
Is
agree.
that what you meant, Jim?
Yes, yeah.
But I think we should make it clear that it is voluntary and nobody should feel
Obligated.
obliged to
Oh, no.
follow
I will point that out, Dick, as usual. So are you asking for a vote, Mr. President?
Well,
Is
yeah,
it your wish?
propose that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, percentage of that, to go to foundation. But would that also mean that if we fill out a direct debit form, each of us individually, that will be something else on top?
Yes, completely different thing. If you want to fill out a direct debit form, then that is a commitment.
Yeah, it is.
Whereas this payment, as I understand it, Jim's proposal is this last payment of meals is a one-off.
One-off, yeah. Everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Vote.
Well, what percentage are we talking about? All of it?
What percentage?
Well, someone mentioned a percentage, but we haven't discussed it.
I think Bob suggested the whole amount of this.
Well, Jim, as I interpreted what Jim said, this particular payment donation in its entirety. Is that right, Jim?
That's right. That's what I
Okay,
meant.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So the whole £60 or whatever.
Yeah.
From whoever or how many, I will isolate as opposed to separate meal under foundation, and then that will go with our other foundation money when we pay in May.
As long as it is recorded as being part of Dave's year.
Oh, absolutely. If
Oh, yes.
I mean, any monies before the end of June comes as Dave's year.
Yeah.
My
Don't just get
my concentration on the 5th of April is to get the in a year that's been slightly leaner than other years, although we've done fantastically well with our donations. But it would be nice to add even more gift aid by just being a little bit quick off the mark.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, I will second Jim's proposal.
All in favour?
Yeah.
All in favour?
Yeah.
Show of hands, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. Is that everybody? Anybody against? That's probably the easiest thing.
Mr. President, I didn't vote.
Yeah,
I'm abstaining.
Yep.
I feel that's my place in the world.
That's your prerogative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. And I'll get some money. Excuse me, Robert.
I'll
Bob.
get the email out in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll get it to you before the 5th of April. Okay.
And Bob, I'd make sure in the email you make it clear that the money is going to foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Money.
Perkins as well, I think.
Anybody else? Yes, Peter.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you know, well, as you probably be aware, I'm getting ready for my presidential year now, and I'm looking at people to chair various committees. From what Dick said, it appears that he's happy to continue with foundation. If anyone is not willing to continue with a particular membership chair, would you please let me know? Or if you don't want to be considered for one, again, please let me know by email. The other thing that I'd like to do for my presidential year is to introduce Martin Carnell to all different aspects of the club. And if Martin's willing, I would like him to do an attachment of 2 or 3 months to each committee chair, so he gets an overall view of how the club works. And what
Peter, can you speak up a bit? You're losing. I can't.
We're losing you, Peter.
What I'd like to do, if Martin is agreeable to this, for my presidential year, is have Martin as an attachment to each committee chair, so he's got an idea of how the club works and what all these different committees mean. I'm saying that from my own experience, because I had scratching my head about, what does this committee actually do? But I think if Martin is happy with that, I think it will help him to give an overview in his first year at the club of how everything works, and will help him with in the future when he goes on for to do different tasks. So basically, I'll say what I'm asking is, if you're willing to continue with your committee chair, please let me know. Or if not, say you don't want to do it, and if you're willing to be considered for a committee chair, then please let me know as well. But I say the main point I want to make is I would like Martin to do an attachment to each committee, so he gets an overview of how everything works during his first year with us at the club.
Good idea, Peter. Peter, can you include me in on that? Because I would like to know that as well.
Could I just mention, when I first joined the club, it was recommended to me that I should actually attend council meetings which was a very, very good idea. And that I know things are different at the moment, obviously, but I attended every council meeting for quite a while. And that to me was the quickest grounding into what goes on in the management and running of a club than any other idea. And so, you know, I just put that into the hat for you. But instead of actually being concerned about attaching, which I think is a good idea, Peter, but I felt it, every member is able and allowed to attend the council meeting. They obviously don't have a vote, but they do learn how Rotary works. And I would recommend that you have someone, you know, doing that.
Yeah, I think Robin is Martin's sort of point of contact for general tutoring, if you like. But it may be that a committee chair may be able to say, okay, Martin, here's a little task for you to do. And that committee chair oversees it. So he gets a hands-on about what actually that particular part of the committee, the club does. Yeah, I was going to ask Martin to attend the committee meetings as well as part of that group. But yeah, it's a little thing that I brought with me from the police. When you first do your probationary period, you go around different departments like traffic patrol, dog handlers, CID, fraud squad, in your first years to get a handle of how the police works basically in different departments. And it's that idea that I'm trying to bring to the committee for to this club for new members. But yeah, I take on board what you say, but it's I'll have a discussion with Martin, but he seems to be okay with the idea.
I think it's a good idea. And Carl, as far as you're concerned, of course, as coming in as president-elect this year, what in a normal year, what the president-elect would tend to do is to attend various committee meetings anyway, because you need to know what they're doing this year to see whether there's anything that you want to carry over for next year. So, you know, you will be free, you're free to attend any committee meeting, the meeting of any committee. Unfortunately, of course, this year we haven't had any committee meetings, so Peter hasn't been able to benefit from that.
No.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that, and I'll be delighted to attend all committee meetings to gain what information I can. Unfortunately, I'm not IT intelligent, so when I go online, I can't download the information that I need. I need help on that. I need help on that subject.
Well, we'll try and give you some help on that, but when we can get back to meeting.
Yeah.
It's easy. It will be easier to take you through where you can get the information on the website if I can come along.
Yeah.
And actually sit with you and show you.
Yeah,
that would be wonderful. That really would be wonderful.
Yeah. Martin's internet's not been that good. He's actually put a message on our chat line down the bottom there. So I don't know if hopefully all of you can see it. So all right.
Yeah,
I've read it. So Martin's happy with Peter's proposal. I think the rest of us are as well. Anybody else for anything? No.
Only other thing to say is, of course, next week we have Ashley Jones, the regional fraud advisor from Avon and Somerset, joining us. So if you know of anybody who think might be interested in joining, Peter, if any of your other members would be in, Peter Hardwood, if any of your other members would be interested in joining us, then we'd be only too happy to have them along.
Thank you. Thank you. Obviously, I bring you greetings from my fellow members and our president this evening, and delight to be here with you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Peter. Yeah, and that basically leaves us with the final toast.
David, just before we go, can I ask the members if anybody knows of a bank manager owner or an auditor that could help me out. We need somebody to audit our accounts for the Harveys and Jubilees Arms Houses in Chard. And we're struggling to find someone to fill that position. If anybody knows of anyone, could they please email me?
Yeah, Carl, the guy that checks our books, unfortunately, has now dropped everybody bar us. So, you know, he would have been an obvious one to recommend, but we're the only one whose books he's still doing.
Yeah, thank you for that, Bob.
Good luck on Saturday, Jim.
Oh, yes, we need it.
You do.
Nice to see England coming back, John. Nice to see you.
But we only play well against the better teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, we understand.
Right. With that, let's have a final toast. Rotary around the world.
Around the world.
With the Rotary Clubs of Crewkern and Westbury.
Crewkern and Westbury.
Good luck, Wales.
Stay safe.
Good company.
Keep washing your hands.
Bye.